Up next on UBC, brought to you by...
Keep the lights on. Use Airtel Money to pay for all your Yaka bills conveniently. Open the My Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi on sign language and Elizabeth Nakakuni who will dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has presided over the retirement ceremony of a total of 14 general officers, 604 senior and junior officers and men. Now, let's take a look.
Has over the years, Major General Ambassador Robert Rusoke to Mrs. Priska Nanjovu and Mr. Israel Sewangamba Sentongo of Chirangira. She is working in State House as Senior Presidential Advisor and Director, Land Matters. Previously, she excelled in the following political positions of leadership. For Major Abdul Naduli. Naduli has held several political appointments. Currently, he is Special Presidential Advisor
because when you see, this is just a sample. You see these people who are here. If you go into their individual story, it's really a miracle. How we were able to get so many people of different levels to be part of the resistance movement. It is my honor to send you off in retirement after meritorious service for a long time. Thank you, Katonda. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Government wants total compliance to the set standard operating procedures to avoid the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, noted that ever since the partial lifting of the lockdown, some Ugandans are floating the SOPs. He was addressing journalists at Uganda Media Center.
Government has updated the country on different aspects. Among the notable are flouted COVID-19's guidelines, including the curfew time.
and we would want to call upon the security agencies that are manning the checkpoints to get a little bit strict and ensure that by 7 people are in their homes. Because when they say the curfew starts at 7 p.m., it means unless you are authorized to be still moving, then by 7 p.m. you should be in your home.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Wariomusi, also clarified on the continued closure of shopping malls in Kampala Central Business District.
The intention of government is not to close any business premises, not to close any arcade, not to close any shopping mall, but to make sure that we open only when we are satisfied that this shopping mall, this arcade meets the standard and minimum requirements in order for all those who operate there to be safe.
Meanwhile, the continued embargo on houses of worship has attracted a reaction from religious leaders, but government explains the decision.
At the moment, we are not comfortable allowing huge gatherings, crowds, because crowds are one of many routes through which coronavirus is transmitted. And therefore we call upon the church leaders and our faith-based leaders to understand that the government is not against prayer.
Wariomusi also noted that plans for the resumption of schools are underway, but this will depend on the vaccination level.
So we are soon going to start vaccinating the teachers and the students, starting with those who are in the medical and health training institutions, and then we get back to all those above 18 years, and then we start opening the schools before the year ends.
The ICT minister also allayed fears from members of the public regarding the intended land amendments by government.
You have had landlords or their agents being killed when they are trying to evict people, but you have also had landlords or their agents coming at night and evicting people and destroying houses. So you cannot say there is no problem. When you say there is no problem with Mairo land, the problem is there. So the question which is in the air is, how can we reform the Mairo land system?
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
And the Deputy Commander Land Forces, Major General Sam Okiding, has urged UPDF retirees to safeguard peace. He was speaking at a ceremony where 181 UPDF soldiers were retired from the service at Bombo Land Forces headquarters.
So I am happy to go back home when I am arrive.
Colonel Charles Barija has spent 42 years in the active service of the UPDF. Colonel Barija, who joined the forces in 1979 from Kakuba Mbarara and trained at Kabamba. His first mission was to escort President Yoweri Museveni, who was then Vice Chairman Military Commission.
Era we nasokera mu lutalo lwasooka nga ntandika nalusitwalinga His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ku Kireka roadblock ng'alina Mama Janet ne Muhoozi ng'ali mwana muto wa myaka nga 6. So nsanyuse kulaba nti kati ne Muhoozi general mu magye ate ngenze nga nkyali mulamu.
After the 1981 elections, Colonel Barija went with General Yoweri Museveni to start the liberation war that ended in 1986.
So I thank the government of Uganda and UPDF.
What could be your advice to those who are still in active service in order to keep loyal to UPDF as you have done?
They should keep discipline, maintain discipline, then to love each other, plus wananchi.
At his rank, Kanovarija, whose force number is ROV00337, was the most senior among the 181 UPDF retirees at Bombo UPDF Land Forces Headquarters. Among the retirees, 15 were at the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, 21 at the rank of Major, and others from lower ranks. The Deputy Commander Land Forces, Major General Samuel Kiding, said retirement is a sign that peace is prevailing in the country.
And one of the reasons why you are retiring, it's because you have leveled the ground for retirement. If there were issues, if there was a problem, you wouldn't have retired. Maybe you would have retired through desertion, but that's not retirement.
Major General Kiding applauded the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General William Museveni, for the gesture of retiring soldiers.
The previous armies never used to retire. They were injected out, kicked out. But because of our president, we are now able to retire, to go home with a package.
Here at Bombo Land Forces Headquarters, the 118 officers are part of the 618 UPDF officers that have been retired countrywide, leaving behind a strong force. These have been called upon to be good ambassadors out there, not to spoil the peace they have for long worked for. Bernard Giga, UBC News, here at Bombo.
Now, experts warn Ugandans over the acquisition of 20% of their NSSF savings after President Museveni assented to the NSSF Amendment Bill 2019. They urged Ugandans to be cautious when deciding to withdraw the money or else may end up losing it. The warning was echoed at Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority headquarters in Kampala. This was during the release of the Statement of Performance on the retirement benefits for the year 2020.
Elements of bad faith.
Since COVID-19 outbreak in March last year, business and all sectors of the economy went into lockdown, paralyzing all activities. The Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, UBRA, a government entity responsible for protecting the retirement benefits of average Ugandans, has released a report on its performance for the year 2020.
For the year 2020, the authority analyzed the long-term sustainability of defined benefit schemes and the operational expenditures to change the key demographic and economic variables. We've been able to observe some efficiency in the execution of funds, in the operational costs.
The report shows how the sector had delivered a steady performance in the year 2020, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, generating an average return of 13% with an average interest of 9.37% to members compared to the year 2018-2019.
You've been able to see a sustainable operational cost, at least for the last 3 years, being maintained at 1.2% of the assets mostly, and also see that members' returns maintain the 9% average that we are talking about today. We think that after 35 years, members' funds would have grown substantially, and we can continue to give the assurance to members that their funds are steadily growing and substantially protected.
Nsubuga warns Ugandans about the 20% acquisition of their NSSF benefit savings.
Not sure of what you are going to do with it. Why don't you preserve it anyway? Because it is you are assured over a very high return in the market today, which is 9%. It is prudently invested, and the regulator is providing you the protection and safety of your funds. Otherwise, if you just want to take it and then endeavor in unplanned activities, it's going to be lost from day one.
Probably my advice to the members of the public is to be conscious. At least even with this allowance, it does not make it mandatory that you have to draw the money. It's not mandatory.
Meanwhile, the report indicates a recovery of 8.8 billion Ugandan shillings in misappropriated funds and unremitted contributions, compared to 6.7 billion Ugandan shillings registered recovery in the year 2018-2019. Ivan Juko, UBC News.
Meanwhile, government is to compensate tobacco farmers from Bunyoro sub-region in the next 2 weeks. State Minister for Trade, David Bahati, made this commitment to Parliament following a matter of national concern raised by Hoima City Woman MP Nyakato Nancy. However, Deputy Attorney General Jackson Kafuzi says farmers who sought court redress will be considered after case disposal.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm not yet even 40 years, but when you consider the rate at which my head is turning white, it is pressure from tobacco farmers. They want their money.
This concern was as a result of an issue of national importance raised by Hoima City Woman Member of Parliament, Asinansi Nyakato. This stemmed from the delayed compensation of tobacco farmers of Bunyoro sub-region.
Madam Speaker, I pray that the government gives an explanation to this Parliament why to date these farmers have not been paid, despite the fact that the money was allocated by the 10th Parliament.
The 10th Parliament of Uganda appropriated 11 billion shillings for compensation of tobacco farmers in Bunyoro. The process was, however, delayed by an act by a group of farmers who took the matter to court.
This matter has now been resolved. We agreed that we should pay those who are clear, and then those who are in court can come after the court case has been handled.
Our understanding with the Ministry of Trade is that we should let those who are in court carry forward as we settle those that have heeded and are waiting for government to fulfill its promise.
This argument is in line with the recent advice to farmers to withdraw the case from court.
Yes, those who went to court, we advise them to withdraw their case from court, so that they can be paid. But as these ones who did not go to court, we want to pay them now.
Some Bunyoro area MPs have expressed reservations about this proposal.
Personally, I would also support it if at all this time government is ready to pay these farmers, because they may withdraw the case again, they come up with another excuse.
Secondly, you cannot tell a farmer to withdraw a case when he is not sure that he's also part of those ones who are going to be paid.
With arguments that some of the contracted companies closed business, it is not clear how payment will be effected without a memorandum of understanding. Henry Okrut, UBC.
With that, we take a quick break. We return with more details. This is News Tonight.
Today in history.
It was on 5th August 2001 when Erifasi Otema Alimadi breathed his last, born on 11 February 1929. He was a Ugandan politician who served as the country's foreign minister 1979 to 1980 in the UNLF government. Otema served as the country's third prime minister of Uganda from 1980 to 1985 in the UPC government. He then became a Minister of Foreign Affairs after Paulo Muwanga's transitional government and was then appointed Prime Minister by newly elected President Milton Obote on December 18, 1980.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Central Points when you deposit, send and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go. MTN.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kuggwa
only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Therefore, understanding this model.
Hey, excuse me, lady. Who do you think you are? A queen?
Hey, haven't you heard? Get Airtel Chillax bundles and browse like a queen.
Get Airtel Chillax bundles that do not expire and browse like a queen or king. Dial *175# or use My Airtel app.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
When John and Mary were 6 years old, they were introduced to savings by their parents and class teacher. They set dreams inspired by their saving clubs at school.
I'm saving for a ball. I'm saving for a school bag.
As time passed by, the set dreams were achieved, and they were further motivated to set fresh, bigger and better dreams, all of which came to pass.
I'm currently saving to buy a bicycle.
I'm now saving for an academic tour.
Dear parents, guardians and teachers, it is our duty to empower our children and people around us to make reasonable monetary choices and introducing a lifelong money-saving culture. Now is the time to start saving for our dreams and a much better tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the German Corporation, German Sparkassen Stiftung, Eastern Africa, and Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union.
Experience 100% 4G speeds across Uganda with the Airtel 4G Pocket Wi-Fi available at 123,000 shillings only. It comes with a backup battery and 15 GB free for 1 month. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, device selling shop, or Airtel online shop. www.airtel.co.ug/broadband-discover. Airtel, the smartphone network.
And on business news, the National Social Security Fund has supported President Museveni's decision to assent to the NSSF midterm access bill after the completion of the review process by Parliament. The overall liability of the midterm access to the fund is estimated at 1 trillion shillings.
According to Richard Birugaba, the managing director, NSSF, the fund has no control over the process but remains committed to support the speedy enactment of the bill and thereafter the implementation of the NSSF Amendment Act.
So, to manage the expectation of our members, to manage the expectation of the public, to manage the expectation of Uganda, we would like to say that the fund has certainly some control over this process. But as you've seen, the parties involved in the remaining part of this process are largely outside of our own control. I have been told, and I'm sure you can verify that ordinarily it takes 45 days for a bill to be returned to Parliament and processed and brought back to the President. Now, if that happens, that would be fantastic. So we will have a bill signed by the President within 45 days.
However, the fund is proposing a staggered payment approach for the qualifying members due to liquidity concerns. The overall liability of the mid-term access to the fund is estimated at 1 trillion shillings.
Obviously, that is now our problem we have to deal with as a fund. We have to do it in such a way that it does not jeopardize the projects that we currently undertake. We've got significant projects. One is the pension towers. We are due to pay a lot of the money at the middle of next year, almost 300 billion shillings. We are also starting on the Temangal project. We need to pay a lot of invoices there. We are completing the Loboa housing project. There are a few invoices to pay there as well. And then finally, the biggie is the Uganda campus, the government campus, which is estimated to be about 800 billion, but obviously we'll pay it over a period of time. So there's quite a lot of cash flows that we need to pay on the projects. The figure is about 900 billion for this.
The National Social Security Fund Amendment Bill 2019 allows members who are over 45 years and above and have contributed to the fund for 10 years to access up to 20% of their accrued benefits.
So it's really a good sort of milestone for us to tell the people of Uganda that by October, hopefully we'll have a system to implement it. We will have a statutory instrument to help us with the procedure, and we'll have a law that has been approved by the President to be able to implement these changes.
Dennis Igor for UBC News.
In the world of sports, after a day's rest for all Uganda's members at the Olympics, action resumes on Friday in Japan. First in action will be Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo and Oscar Chelimo, who contest the 5,000-meter final starting at 3 p.m. East African time. Thereafter, Winnie Nanyondo will line up in the 1,500-meter final that starts at 3:50 p.m. Athletics coach Benjamin Njia talks tactics to be used in the 5,000-meter finals, in which Uganda expects to add to its already rich medal haul of 3.
So much. I feel good. I know tomorrow will be a tough race, but I know that we are going to do something tomorrow. You know, something is the main thing. We know it was a grateful, other countries, they didn't manage to qualify. Only one person, and we are so happy. We have qualified for final. Let's just wait tomorrow. We have a lot of hopes in tomorrow. See tomorrow. I know that race will be tough, but I know all is all. We are going to try our best all day. No, we have other guys are strong from the other guy. That guy from Spain and Chelimo from America. We know the thing will be tough, but we are going to try our best tomorrow.
And that does it for News Tonight for now. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. Elizabeth Nakakone on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Alex Semper Kim will update you with the weather.
Has been predominantly sunny intervals across the country, though a few areas along the Lake Victoria Basin had some light isolated rainfall. By 9 a.m. This morning, various parts of the country reported rainfall, like Kasese reported very heavy rainfall of 69.9 millimeters. Awadilai 7.4 and Kampala reported 0.2 millimeters of rainfall. The satellite image taken over Africa indicates the high pressure systems to the south of the continent are really weak. So the rainfall we are seeing across the country is mainly due to the local factors like Lake Victoria and the mountains we have across the region. That is why tomorrow in the morning we do expect to see some chances of light rainfall across the eastern of the country. Most of the country will have sunny intervals, but in the afternoon we do expect a pickup of some rainfall that will be across Kasese, Mubende, Masindi and parts of the eastern like Mbale. Because of this, temperatures are expected to rise to 31 degrees centigrade to be across Karamoja region, 27 in the nation's capital Kampala, and in Kabale Highlands we are forecasting at 25 degrees centigrade. And elsewhere across the globe, it will be sunny conditions that will be across Dubai, New York, at a daytime high of 41 degrees centigrade to be across Dubai, and in Lagos at a daytime high of 29 degrees centigrade, and Moscow is expected to have some rainfall at a daytime high of only 23 degrees centigrade. With that, we conclude it. Stay tuned and join us again tomorrow same time.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation with deep sorrow announces the death of its member of staff, Mr. Mawa Robert, who was attached to West Nile Radio, which occurred on Wednesday, 4th August 2021. Burial arrangements will be communicated soon. Informed are friends, relatives, colleagues, and in-laws. May his soul rest in eternal peace.